truck! That's gotta be a Raj.
Hold fire. We need a positive ID. That's our man.
Several months ago, in the middle of the first wave of the global pandemic, I felt Activision should have just delayed Call of Duty this year. Modern Warfare was still going strong, everyone was still playing it, and the Seasons Pass model seemed to be working like a charm. Meanwhile, studios everywhere were sending their workers home to work. My feeling at the time, why rush another Call of Duty game out the door? I mean, if there's any time Activision had an excuse to delay a Call of Duty game without suffering any kind of blowback, it would be now. Well, clearly that didn't happen, and here I am reviewing yet another Call of Duty game, this time during the second wave of the pandemic, where Treyarch even admitted development was a challenge for them. And in some ways, it showed. I mean, for starters, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War single-player campaign does feel a bit rushed and shallow. The innovation isn't quite there this time around. It just has that been there, done that feeling to it. It's also incredibly short. Yet that doesn't take away from how much fun I had. I played through the campaign twice. Visually, it looks sharp. Perhaps the best looking campaign we have seen to date. Specifically, that fractured jaw level is a jaw dropper, a visual showcase for next gen consoles. The level of detail from the characters to the environments is absolutely stunning. And it doesn't end there. The stealth sequences kick ass, giving me some serious Dishonored vibes. And the combat remains silky smooth. The guns, they feel great as well, no surprise there, and mowing down enemies is as satisfying as ever. You just won't get bored playing the single player mode at all. Now, the story doesn't have the same complexities or branching storylines like we've seen in years past. It's pretty straightforward, it doesn't require any previous experience with the Black Ops franchise. The campaign acts as a direct sequel set 13 years after that original Black Ops story. It takes place, as you would guess, at the height of the Cold War. You, along with a newly formed group of CIA operatives, have been tasked to prevent global nuclear disaster. Now, those familiar with the franchise will recognize Mason, Woods, and Hudson, and there's some other surprises in the game that I won't give away. The single-player campaign, well, it takes you across Amsterdam, Turkey, Russia, Vietnam, and the USA. You'll do things like man APC turrets, pilot deadly choppers, but the majority of the gameplay consists of a ton of gunfire and moving from one epic set piece to another. Now, there are dialogue choices in the game, more so than we've seen in any other Call of Duty game, but it doesn't really impact the story, which remains mostly linear. Now, your choices matter towards the end of the campaign, specifically that last level, but certainly not for the majority of the experience. I burned through that campaign in about 5 hours-ish. So yeah, it's short, but there is some replayability as you'll want to go back and collect evidence along the way, and there's also a rather significant different ending, and you're just going to have to trust me. You'll want to experience both of those endings. Cold War's multiplayer offerings remain on par with other Call of Duty games. You get 10 maps at launch, including a number of variants. All those traditional modes that fans love return. Score streaks are back, the gunsmith is back, selecting your operators, that's all back. And gunfight will return, but not right out of the box. You're gonna have to wait about a month to get into gunfight. Now, you'll also be able to jump into Warzone again. That's pretty cool. But sadly, it's the same map from Modern Warfare. Not a new Warzone map, unfortunately. I mean, even that multiplayer UI looks nearly the same as it does for Modern Warfare. Now, don't get me wrong, it remains a premium online shooter, but it's one that feels a little too familiar this time around. Now, in fairness, there are some new modes. In addition to those COD staples, there's 3 new modes. VIP Escort is one of them, Fireteam Dirty Bomb is another, and the last one is called Combined Arms, either Assault or Domination. Now, VIP Escort plays out exactly as it sounds. You escort that VIP to the extraction point before the other team takes you out, or you take out the other team. Does it sound familiar? You better believe it does. I think we've all played, anybody that's played Call of Duty games, we've played these escort style modes before, so escort the VIP, for me, didn't feel really new. Fireteam involves huge 40-player battles where everyone is broken into 10 teams. The objective here is to collect uranium, locate those dirty bombs, and detonate them for the win. It's pretty intense. I died a ton. The snipers in the game I played had a field day, but it was a nice change of pace from those traditional Call of Duty Online modes. Combined Arms plays out in similar fashion to Modern Warfare's Ground War mode. There's 2 teams of 12 battling over neutral capture zones. The maps are huge. Once again, snipers will love this, but it is satisfying when you win. I mean, this mode wasn't my thing, Ground War wasn't either, but I appreciate its inclusion. Bottom line, if you're a Ground War fan, you'll love what Combined Arms has to offer. Call of Duty Zombies mode returns, and for the first time in franchise history, it's cross-play and cross-generation. This should open up the player pool and perhaps even get more people involved in what is really truly a fantastic mode. Zombies isn't for everyone, but it remains as intense as ever. Sure, one map at launch is a bit of a letdown, considering we had 3 the last time a Black Ops game was launched, but nevertheless, this map is huge, it's a ton of fun, there's a ton of strategy, and it's full of surprises. A nice new wrinkle added to the mix this year is being able to play with your custom loadout right from the get-go, right from level 1. That was cool. I like that. Now, you could still buy guns off the wall. You could take your chances with that mystery box, which I love, everyone loves. But being able to start out with your favorite weapon was a nice perk. I mean, the goal in Zombies remains the same. Kill zombies, survive, unlock areas, and upgrade your weaponry, and find all those Easter eggs. I mean, it remains as difficult and as punishing as ever, but it is pretty satisfying and entertaining. Last year, Infinity Ward made a splash when they ditched the old quarterly DLC packages and replaced it with free maps, a battle pass system, cross-play, cross-progression, and no loot boxes. And of course, they brought that single-player mode back. I'm happy to report that all that continues with Cold War. But I guess that's my biggest issue with the game. Aside from those stunning visuals which we see in the single-player mode, Treyarch hasn't really pushed the needle forward. It feels like more of the same, almost like they barely made it to the finish line, releasing a Call of Duty game that really feels lighter on content than it typically does. Now, like I mentioned at the top, Treyarch is quick to admit that they faced development challenges, and it really showed. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War doesn't innovate in any big ways. It merely gives Call of Duty fans more of what they've been accustomed to seeing year after year. At the same time, Cold War is truly an enjoyable experience, delivering over 100 gigs of content that'll get ongoing support and free content long after this review's posted. So in short, it will get better. Cold War will once again be considered the must-have shooter this holiday season, and deservedly so. Just don't expect anything incredibly groundbreaking this time around. Thanks everyone for checking out our video review. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, throw down a comment below. We'll do our best to respond to you. Thanks again. Peace out.
Vento,